Hello everyone, welcome to another Animation Friday, and today I thought it would be interesting to briefly discuss the Rankin Bass holiday specials. Yes, those stop motion and 2D animated uh, TV specials that seem to, I think, be considered fairly well known and well recognized, at least over the years. Um, these include such ones as Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, The Little Drummer Boy, Frosty the Snowman, and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And I think those four are the ones that are the more famous ones, the ones that I think people recognize the most. Um, but in regards to their quality in the animation department, although it is not as high as something like Pixar or Disney, it still stands to, I think, a certain level of memorability, I guess you could say, or if you could call it that, if there is such a word. But really, the Rankin Bass films are specials slash films were released actually during a time when animation wasn't really all that strong. This is when we saw, sort of the death of Walt Disney, and then sort of animation not really, really going anywhere as a result, and people not having the leadership or innovation or ideas to bring to the table. And so I think what ended up happening is that animation became more based within television, um, and as a result, we did get things like Charlie Brown, and including these Rankin Bass specials that started in the late 60s and carried on into the early 70s. Um, the interesting thing about these stop motion animated specials and their 2D animated specials is that they have a certain I think approach that is somewhat different from other studios that have sort of come and gone. They've sort of taken certain storytelling and have done it sort of in their own way. They've incorporated music throughout their works, and sort of tried to stick to, in particular, Christmas, I think, when it comes to their holiday specials. Um, and I guess you could say winter too, because we have Frosty the Snowman. So I think there was sort of a demand for this, since children didn't really have anything growing up within animation during the holidays, since really animation, when it came to film, wasn't really doing all that well or providing any ideas. So as a result, we got these sorts of TV specials. And um, even though the animation at times can feel a little dated, when I look back on it, I still find the simplicity and the charm sort of the stories that they choose to tell, I think, are really what make them come across effectively. Similar to, again, Charlie Brown, where the animation is not really all that stellar, but the story and character is what really gets itself through to the audience. So that's what I think the Rankin Bass sort of holiday specials did, at least for that time period, especially in a time when animation wasn't really doing all that well. So I think that's definitely something worthy of note and of recommendation, in particular the ones that I've mentioned. Now, do they stay completely true to the story? They do, and yet they expand on it because, again, they make it a TV special, so they kind of go more in depth with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman, and Santa Claus, and they try to create their own sort of story behind it. And I think some of the things that they come up with are fairly creative. The songs are cute, and have a certain charm to them. Uh, you know, Again, the animation is not um, as mind-boggling or amazing, but I think the fact that again it's not trying to sugarcoat itself, it's just being being something good for children, I think is what makes these specials really stand out. There's just no um, there's just pure heart, and even if they're not of substantial amount of quality in the animation department, again, the simplicity and the heart of these animated specials, I think, are really what's at the center. Are some better than others? I'm sure you could say that. Again, maybe Frosty the Snowman having a villain inserted in there was probably not the best move, but at the same time, I still find that for the most part, these uh, animated specials have really stayed true to sort of that holiday spirit, and they sort of get me into the holiday spirit. And I remember watching them continuously over the years, especially the Santa Claus is Coming to Town and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Frosty as well. And I think I saw the Drummer Boy once, but I think that was a while back, so I can't necessarily remember too much about it. But I do remember a lot of aspects that were within the animation, and I understand that it's not of a higher standard as some others. But I think it's just charming. It's simple and charming. Does it have some weird elements to it as well? Yes, especially in the Santa Claus is Coming to Town, when there's like this whole kind of 70s trip that ends up happening. It's kind of strange, and it happens with, I guess, Santa Claus's future wife. You'll see if you choose to watch the special, but it is kind of weird. It does feel very 70s and of the time. So some might argue that they might be a little bit dated in that sense, but I think overall they still have a very nice flow to them. I don't think they really overstay their welcome. Again, they're not extensively long. Um, they do have a sense of story, and even though it's again not as complex or as endearing as something like maybe It's a Wonderful Life, they still have, I think, good elements to them that I think work for what it's going for. And really what it was trying to be is just a holiday special. It wasn't trying to be a holiday classic or a holiday uh, a holiday sort of extravaganza. They were just designed to be just simple, fun, little holiday special cartoons, and that's what they are. And if you enjoy that kind of angle, and you kind of want to see something maybe different this holiday season as opposed to the traditional ones that you've probably seen over and over again, I think this is definitely a good department to go into, especially if you're not really aware of these specials, since they did come out a long time ago. And although I think they do try to air it maybe on like ABC Family and things like that, it's I think overlooked probably by the younger generation. So I think if you're interested, they're definitely worth checking out. If you have children, definitely worthy of recommendation to them. They're enjoyable. I would say the Santa Claus is Coming to Town one is probably my favorite one out of all of them. But I will say that all of them do offer, I think, something fairly unique and interesting. Is it is it is it as stellar as something like like a animated film, no, but at the same time I feel like, again, it's not trying to sugarcoat anything. It knows what it is, and it knows who its audience is. So I think that's ultimately what makes um, these holiday specials stand out. But I think that's really ultimately all I can say about them. But again, if there are any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a pleasant day, week, month, and year, and month of December, including this lovely holiday season that we are currently in, at least from the time when I'm making this video. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.